Everyone is having some static.
Sharmila, should we wait for another 3 minutes and start at 7:10?
Yeah, we can.
PTP has joined us. Meenakshi is also here.
Okay.
Can you hear me, Sharmila?
Yes.
We can't hear you.
Yes, we can hear her.
We can hear her. We can hear her.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I would be surprised because I've been talking for some time.
And you start wondering from which line did I go? Yeah. So we'll start exactly at 7:10. Yeah.
And we can mute everyone then.
Yes. I contacted the Inner Wheel Club.
Yeah.
The chairperson, she has 9 meetings between 3 and 7.
Wow.
And another 6 meetings between 7 and she doesn't know what to do, 10 to 10. So Inner Wheel, yeah, they're so hyperactive.
Daksha, has PTP come in?
Yes, he has just joined us. He said 7:10, another 2 minutes, we'll start the meeting.
Oh, you haven't spotlight on him?
Not yet. He said 7:10. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just spoke to him. Yeah. Vidya, are you in charge of spotlighting?
Yeah, I'll take care.
Okay. Yes, there you go. Welcome, PT.
I guess he's muted.
Yeah, he's on mute. He said he will join exactly 7:10. Good evening, Veera Raghavan.
All of you, good evening.
Good evening.
On behalf of Rotary Club of Andavasi, RA District 3231, especially Madam Rotarian Sharmila Nagarajan and Rotarian Daksha from Chennai, Meenambakam, and preferably my beloved person, Rotarian Pastusun Shankar Menon, Dr. Meenakshi from Bangalore West, and also everybody. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity, especially WASH and schools.
Ciao, Fabrizio. Buonasera.
Good evening. Good evening to all. Ciao, buonasera, Sharmila.
I'm back in London.
Yeah?
But I will come back to Italy on Monday.
Oh, fine.
I think we are going into a lockdown, isn't it?
Breakfast madam, London.
Shall we start then, Sharmila?
Yeah.
7?
Yes, we can. Yeah. I'll mute everyone.
Okay.
Why am I not able to mute everyone? Just unmute yourself when you need to speak. Thank you.
A very good evening to all. Let us begin this evening's program with a 4-weight test. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you. I have great pleasure in welcoming past RI director, and in that, the first ever director from South Asia region, current global chair for WASH in schools, and most importantly, a global leader par excellence who has held many a position in every thrust area of focus of Rotary International. A phenomenal writer and a voracious speaker, PTP, as he's popularly known, is our chief guest for the evening. I welcome you, Rotarian PT Prabhakar. It gives me great pleasure to have our very own member from the RI Women's Group as a guest of honor, Dr. Meenakshi Bharat. She is entirely focused on hygiene and environment aspect of menstrual hygiene management. I welcome you, Dr. Meenakshi. I also take this opportunity to welcome Rotarians from all parts of the world who are here today from across different time zones, but with a unified passion in taking on this need of the hour project on menstrual health management. I also welcome the special invitees. Coming to today's topic, happy periods. Menstruation is not a problem. Poor menstrual hygiene is. A woman must wait for her ovaries to die before she can get her rightful personality back. Postmenstrual is the same as premenstrual, and once again, and what it was before the age of 12. A female human being who knows that a month has 30 days, not 25, and who can spend every one of them free of the shackles of that aspect of body and mind known as femininity. Menstrual blood is the only source of blood that is not automatically induced. Yet in modern society, this is the most hidden blood, the one so rarely spoken of and almost never seen. What better times can we be passing through than this, when global leaders in Rotary are going beyond gender and are coming out to break the silence? We have one such leader today, and for an official introduction of our chief guest for the evening, I have an audio visual. I request all of you to take a watch. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Presenting to you the global leader who has made a mark in every avenue of service, PT Prabhakar. And also, it was my privilege as a GSC team member when I traveled to US in 1993. He was our team leader. We are all ears and wanting to learn and grow in Rotary with you, especially on this project. PT, over to you.
Good evening, Daksha. Am I audible?
Yes, loud and clear.
Thanks, Daksha. First of all, thanks, Daksha, for that wonderful, wonderful introduction. I'm always scared of these introductions because it has landed me in very many embarrassing situations in my long Rotary speaking career. 30 years back, I was the president of my club, and our club had this project. We used to help a home for unwed mothers, those poor ladies who got children without getting married and then abandoned. And I used to take pity on these ladies, and I always used to help them. And especially as a president, I did whatever I could. And later, 10 years later, when I became the governor of the district, they invited me to their annual day. So I, accompanied by my wife Nalini, we went there, and there was this girl, an unwed mother herself. She introduced me. She said, PTP is very, very nice to us. He's very kind to us. He gives us money when we want money. He gives us equipment when we want. And she went on and said, to cut a long story short, if 20 of us unwed mothers are here, it is because of PT Prabhakar. And, my wife had a lot to say. She turned to me and asked me, is this the community service you do, PT? And took me weeks to explain to her what it was actually. And, before making this invitation, Daksha didn't consult me because I would have definitely not wanted my name there. There was a huge title which said Happy Periods, Chief Guest PT Prabhakar. And a lot of my Rotarian friends asked me, PT, we didn't know that you're an expert on periods. And one guy, classmate of mine today morning, sent a cryptic message. He said, are you going to share your experience? So anyway, friends, jokes apart, I'm here. And at the outset, let me congratulate the 4 women who have made all the attempts to start this action group. Rotarian Daksha from Meenambakam, Rotarian Sharmila from Rotary Club of Tower Hamlet in London, Rotarian Dennis from Ibiza, Rotary Club of Ibiza in Spain. Is she there? Oh, wonderful. And Rotarian Vidya from Rotary Club of Temple City. Is Vidya there too? Oh, no, Vidya, nice to see you. She's from close home. Let me congratulate you, the core group, for starting the Rotary Action Group called the Group for Happy Periods. Now, let me tell you how I am part of this program. You all know that Rotary Foundation was started in 1917 to do good in this world. And in 2017, to coincide with the 100th anniversary of the foundation, they started this global project, Wash in Schools. To tell you very briefly, Wash in Schools consists of, number 1, providing clean water in schools, clean drinking water. Number 2, gender segregated toilets. Number 3, menstrual hygiene management. And number 4, most important, is behavior modification. Behavior modification. Many projects of Rotary in the past, like for example, building toilets. I have myself in my club got a global grant, built a toilet, and 2 years later when I went there, this was somewhere in the late 90s, we found the toilet was in total disuse, stinking, all plants and weed grown there, nobody wanting to go anywhere near. So when we spent, a lot of time, the Rotary Foundation at Chicago we had UNICEF as our advisor who designed this project for us. And they said the first most important component of this project is 2 years maintenance. No matter what you do, this has to be maintained for 2 years. The toilet we build or the clean drinking water we do or the menstrual hygiene management we teach to the poor girls. So as I said, I am part of this because I'm the global chair of this Wash in Schools program, a wonderful program. Let me tell you, my dear friends, we have in India already in the last 4 or 5 years, we have built nearly 40,000. We have taken up 40,000 schools and given hand wash stations there. one of the most important aspects of this program. And today, the only anti-COVID, there is not even a vaccine till today. So we have only hand wash and the what do you call the what you wear on your nose, the what do you call your yes, that is what we have for protection, and one of that is hand wash. And in every one of these 40,000 schools, we have installed hand wash stations across India and taught the children how to wash hands properly. That you must wash hands every time before you eat and every time after you use toilet. In fact, to tell you very frankly, my own hand washing improved after I became chairman of this program and learned how to wash hands properly. That is, and many Rotarians who got involved in this learned how to wash properly only after getting involved with this program. Now, let me congratulate this group for starting or applying for this Rotary Action Group. I have myself been part of a Rotary Action Group, which I formed way back in the 90s. I am the chairman of a Rotary Central TTK VHS Blood Bank, which we have been successfully running in Chennai for the last 24 years. And every year we collect and distribute about 24,000 units of blood. And so I thought we should have a global networking group for blood donation so that we can discuss and share with each other the best practices. So I was the first president of it was called GNBD, Global Network for Blood Donation. And we used to meet at every convention, share ideas and share best practices. And let me tell you, we are lucky enough to even get breakout sessions during the convention. And it was really a wonderful experience. And I have become a better blood banker thanks to this global networking group. And I'm sure you will have a similar experience because across the world, experts in this group will join together at every convention, or nowadays you don't have to go anywhere through a Zoom meeting. You can share the best practices and you can see how you can help the poor children. Subsequent to that, I was also part of as a Rotary International Director, I was asked to be in charge of the Rotary Action Groups globally. And, I have worked with several action groups and I find, let me tell you, these action groups consist always of dedicated and sincere Rotarians totally immersed in the idea which they've taken up. For example, there's a Rotary Action Group for malaria. There's a Rotary Action Group for hundreds of different interests. And those involved they are fascinated with that action group and they're totally dedicated and do a better job than Rotarians trying to do everything else. So let me tell you, you are in the right direction in starting this action group. And let me tell you that all global projects start in a small manner, in a very small way. Let me give you the example. Many of you may not be aware of this. The Rotary Club of Madras, which was started in 1929, they wanted to celebrate their Golden Jubilee in 1979. And to celebrate their Golden Jubilee, they thought they will vaccinate some children around Chennai against measles. The Canadian Rotarians were kind enough to send out 50,000 units of vaccine, measles vaccine. It was very expensive even in 1979. It cost $1 per vaccine. And it arrived in Chennai. And for some days, we had a tough time. The Rotarians of Rotary Club of Madras had a tough time clearing this consignment because our great customs fellows wanted to levy duty on it. We had to convince them that we are trying to help the poor and do service. So we got it out thanks to the Rotary contacts. And then for some time, the Rotary Club of Madras did not know what to do with it, how to go about it. Thank God that we have a brilliant virologist by name Jacob John from the CMC Hospital and Medical College in Vellore, Christian Medical College in Vellore. Now, he's a world famous virologist. So he came to Chennai when he knew these vaccines were there. He picked up 12,000 out of the 20,000 vaccines. He took it to Vellore, and in a matter of 1 month, he vaccinated, exhausted those 12,000 vials of vaccine, vaccinating all the children in and around Vellore against measles. Now, for a vaccine to be effective, you have to set up an effective cold chain, which means the temperature of the vaccine has to be maintained at -5 degrees. And, nobody had ever attempted a mass vaccination of this size before this. Nobody knew what will be the outcome. It was Jacob John who proved it can be done globally. Now, we had a great president from Rotary International president from Australia by name Clem Renault. And Clem Renault, he's the father of the 3H grants of the Rotary Foundation. He's also the father of the Polio Plus program. Clem Renault heard of, in 1985, Rotary International started planning for a project which will culminate in 2005 to coincide with the 100th year of Rotary. So they wanted to start this project in 85. Now, Clem Renault heard about the Indians having succeeded in this vaccination effort. He made a personal visit to Chennai, went to Vellore, and saw and convinced himself, yes, this is possible, went back to Chicago and gave the first 3H grant of $1 million to vaccinate 1 million children in Philippines. And that is how Polio Plus was started. And polio inauguration effort of Rotary was started. Now look at Rotary before polio program and after polio program. We always proudly say that after the Polio Plus program, the world discovered Rotary and the Rotarians discovered themselves. What a profound statement. The world discovered Rotary. World did not know we existed, but the moment we did this successfully, when we started in 1985, there used to be 350,000 fresh cases of polio every year. By 1999, we brought it down by 99%. 99% of the new cases were avoided. So when we did this, the world discovered an organization like Rotary is doing this, and they were greatly appreciative of what we did. And then the Rotarians discovered themselves. Till that time, Rotarians, 50 years ago, they were just, the biggest club would build a bus shelter for the whole year and go home very happy they've done some social work. Only Polio Plus proved to us that we can tackle global problems which even governments are afraid to tackle. Just imagine if government of India had started polio eradication, Pakistan would have objected immediately. If US had started it, maybe China would have objected. It is because Rotary started, the 200 Rotary countries took it up, and we steamrolled this polio virus. As you know, we are this close to eradicating polio. Nigeria is out of no more polio in Nigeria. We have just got Pakistan and Afghanistan. So why am I telling you? Because you are starting a networking group with which you can do so much. As I said, menstrual hygiene. If it is not there, many lady doctors have told me it results in cancer. Cancer means death. This is totally preventable. If you have good hygiene during periods, so many preventable cancers can be prevented. My subsequent speakers are more knowledgeable on this subject. They will explain to you. And basically hygiene, lack of hygiene is the biggest problem in third world countries. And you have really hit the nail on the head of a great action group, which you are going to start for this. Let me just conclude with a real life incident that happened. 30 years ago, there was this guy called Harakchand Savla in Mumbai. For those from Spain who do not know, it was called Bombay those days. And we had the Tata, we have the biggest cancer hospital in India in Mumbai. It's called the Tata Memorial Cancer Hospital. And every single day, this hospital gets about 1,000 outpatients every single day. And 30 years back, the cancer treatment was not so advanced. A cancer diagnosis was certain death sentence 30 years ago. This fellow Harakchand Savla used to stand in front of the footpath opposite to the cancer center. He used to see poor people coming from across India, from different states of India, not knowing the language, not knowing what is going to befall them. And then when they get a cancer diagnosis, he saw fear lit large on their face. They did not know where to go. They did not know what to do, where to buy the medicine. Didn't have the money to buy medicine, leave alone medicine. They didn't have money to eat the lunch that day. This rankled Savla. He couldn't sleep in the night. And he was running a small hotel business. So he sold that business. And with the money that he got, Savla started feeding 5 poor cancer patients a day opposite Tata Memorial Hospital 30 years ago. Now, years rolled by, 5 became 50, 50 became 100. Other Good Samaritans came forward to help Savla, and many trusts gave him money. And would you believe today, Harakchand Savla feeds 1,000 poor cancer patients every single day in Mumbai, in opposite to Tata Cancer Hospital. Now, why am I telling you this? I am telling you this because, Harakchand Savla was not a very rich man. He was not a Tata or an Ambani. He was a very ordinary citizen like all of us. And let me tell you, my dear friends, in the last 30 years, he has fed more than 1 million poor cancer patients. Now, many of us, depending on our religion, we go to a temple or mosque or a church looking for God. But for those 1 million cancer patients who received a free meal from Harakchand Savla, they saw God in Harakchand Savla. Similarly, my dear friends, when you start this action group, and through that, when you render service to those poor, needy girls for whom every period is a hell in this world, and when you help them have a healthy period and avoid future diseases, I am sure they will all bless you. And let me again emphasize that when a Harakchand Savla who had no means can do that, you ladies, you're all, God has blessed you with wealth, with health, with profession, everything, and you are already an international group. And I am sure you will have a great time. I will conclude by saying what Neil Armstrong said when he landed on the moon. He said, it is one small step for a man, but it is a giant leap for a mankind. And I'm sure your Rotary Action Group, this will be a giant leap. May God bless you. And I'm always available to you for any help to your group. So far as Daksha promises me that she will not put my photo and say happy periods, Chief Guest P.T. Prabhakar. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, PT. As usual, you were thundering away with so much of information and motivating us to do even better. PT is pulling my leg. I did share the happy periods topic of Meenakshi. But anyway, thanks a lot and wonderful to have you. It's such a motivation for all of us to go forward and work further.
I must add that Dr. Meenakshi Bharat has been a great help to me. Whenever I requested her to go to any part of India, she went at her own expense, and she has spoken in many hundreds of schools in India at her own cost about this hygienic period. And she has a lot to share with you. I salute Dr. Meenakshi, and I'm sure every one of this group will become one like Dr. Meenakshi and do the needful. Wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you, PT. Over to Sharmila.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. Over to Sharmila for introduction of Dr.
Thank you.
Meenakshi.
Thank you, Daksha. Dr. Meenakshi Bharat is not only a gynecologist and a fertility specialist, but she's also a green campaigner, an advocate for Clean India, a strident voice for garbage segregation and reduction and recycling, a doctor gynecologist for 35 years and a fertility specialist for 25 years now. Her medical practice mainly consists of treating people with irregular periods, PCOS, making it as comfortable and stress-free as possible. She was propelled into waste management when her daughter caught dengue in 2007. Prevention is better than cure has always been her mantra, and knowing that garbage produces so many diseases made her take up this not so glamorous task. Garbage segregation is not difficult, and she loves to demonstrate how all of us segregate everything in our life except garbage. From garbage segregation to composting to growing vegetables on her terrace to having a garbage free wedding for her children, she has done all that one can do individually and spread the message. Um, Having now retired from active medical practice, she wants to spend her time spent spreading the message of creating as little garbage as possible. She is a Rotarian from Rotary Bangalore West District 3190 and a member Inner Wheel Bangalore West. Her current project is Green the Red campaign advocating the use of sustainable menstrual products, a solution that makes the life of women a very happy during this sometimes stressful period every month. This is a no rash, no trash, no cash program. This combines her love for gynecology and garbage management. Dr. Meenakshi believes that youth can make the biggest difference to the country. Be informed, be proactive, be involved, says Dr. Meenakshi. Over to you, Doctor.
Just before doctor starts, I'd like to tell at the end of her talk, all questions can be put on the chat so that it becomes easy for Dennis to moderate and ask the questions. Please put your questions on the chat addressed to both our chief guest PT Prabhakar and guest of honor Dr. Meenakshi.
I must first of all start thanking PRID PT Prabhakar for giving me the opportunity in December of 2018. That was when he first gave me the opportunity to present about menstrual hygiene in a WINS program. And that was when we started this effort to talk to children about menstrual hygiene in the WINS program. It's been such a wonderful 1.5 to 2 years. Thank you, PTP, for this unique opportunity that you gave me. And I very happily retired from active medical practice because I knew that I had this huge thing in front of me, and I love every lady to have a good, free, happy periods. So thank you, sir. So sustainable menstrual hygiene and health is being taken up by the Rotary Action Group, Women's, but this should actually be all menstruating people in the world. So women and transgender who menstruate need to benefit from this program. And I'm happy to learn from every person across the world, and I'm happy to share whatever I know of in this manner. So it's a no rash, no cash, no trash program, and 1.9 billion menstruating women plus another 0.2 billion menstruators would make 2.1 billion women, and only 50% approximately or more have the use of disposable sanitary napkins. But even though it's only that smaller number, the garbage that is being produced by it is just enormous. It is part of that whole hassle that we are having, being buried in plastic. So annually, we produce enormous amounts of waste. Also, there is something called period poverty that's across the world, where women cannot access these disposable sanitary napkins because they are so expensive, because they don't have money to buy food. They don't have, therefore, any money to buy these disposable sanitary napkins. But are we actually needing these disposable sanitary napkins and tampons is the question that I am raising here. And I'm saying that there are products, I think not I, there are so many of us saying that there are wonderful sustainable products that needs to be taken across the world to make the world a happier place. 40 years of our lifetime, women have 420 periods, and we spend, we use about 6,000 sanitary napkins in these 40 years, napkins or tampons. The sustainable options are two. One is a traditional one, which is cloth, which has come out in a new form, and the other is the menstrual cup, which is available to all of us. Was not available to me because I attained menopause 12 years ago, but it's available to all the other menstruating women now, and they must take advantage of the fact of this unique product, which is called a menstrual cup. Now, cloth pads are for women from the beginning of menarche to 18 to 20 years. They are greener, healthier. The new innovation in the cloth pad is that there is a leak-proof material behind which has been given so that, the cloth does not get stained with blood and stain all the other clothes that the girls are wearing. So this is the unique innovation that has happened with cloth pads. Washing it is very simple, doesn't need more than a mug or two of water. So it's not a problem. And we wash our clothes, so there is absolutely no hassle. Cloth pad, if hung out in the sun, does not pick up any infection. It actually gets sanitized by the sun and is absolutely healthy to use. So the worry and the propaganda that was made by the disposable sanitary napkin manufacturers that the cloth pad is not healthy for women is no more valid. We need to convince everybody that go back to the cloth pad only for the first 10 years since attaining menarche. After that, you have the unique menstrual cup. Now, menstrual cups are healthier and greener. If cloth pads are, say 50% better than the disposable sanitary napkins, the menstrual cup are 90% better than the disposable sanitary napkins. It's made out of medical grade silicone, which is the product that is used to make all other medical devices, from the heart stent to the catheter to everything that we use now is made out of medical grade silicone. This silicone is platinum cured medical grade, and that is why we need to use it. The cup just acts as a collector of blood. It doesn't do anything else. It just is an inert substance, and blood falls into it and it collects the blood. It forms a seal in the vagina, and once it forms the seal in the vagina, it doesn't allow any leakage, which is the biggest problem that women face when they're having their periods. Cloth pads, like I said, is from menarche to 18 years. And once they become adult or once they are married or sexually active, they can start using the menstrual cup, and it is there up till menopause. The impact on the environment is truly amazing. So waste disposal issues of single-use sanitary products, both the tampons and the pads are sent to the landfill. They do not decompose. Every pad goes to form the equivalent of 4 plastic bags. National Geographic has told us that 95% of the pads is made out of plastic. It does not decompose. It contaminates the soil, the air, and the water. It is handled by waste pickers in unhygienic conditions. It is flushed down the toilet where it swells up and blocks the drains. When it is burnt, because people think that burning is a good option, when it is burnt not at 1000 degrees, but at lesser temperature of 300, 400 degrees, it releases toxins called dioxins and furans into the air, which are one of the 10 most carcinogenic agents in the world. Of course, it produces stink and lots of diseases. The impact on the sanitation workers and waste workers are enormous. they have to suffer a lot of skin diseases and lung diseases because of that. The superabsorbent gel lands up swelling up inside the drains and blocks the drains, and manual scavenging needs to be done to remove the blockage in the drains. Plastic tampon inserts are all over the beaches, all over the world, because it just lies there and it creates a huge hassle. Now, when you look at the uh, environmental disaster, the quantity of waste produced in 10 years per person is about 30 kgs of pads. With cloth, all that you will have is 20 cloth pads, and 1 cup of 15 grams is all that a woman would use over 10 years. The method of disposal of the disposable sanitary napkin is either incineration or throwing it into the landfill or in the drains. The cloth pad, because it's made out of cotton, is compostable and it dissolves into the ground because it's made of cotton. And 15 grams as compared to 30 kgs, the menstrual cup can be recycled. Frequency of disposal, every pad has to be disposed. The cloth pads will last 2 to 3 years and the cup will last 7 to 10 years. The water usage in the production, I don't know, but while disposing, the water, air and soil contamination happens. To wash a cloth pad, you would require 1 mug or maximum of 2 mugs of water per pad per usage. And to wash a menstrual cup is half a mug of water. So even in the areas where there is water shortage, the menstrual cup can be used very comfortably. And for the adolescent girl, the cloth pad can be used without any problems. Disposable sanitary napkins, 1,800 pads per 10 years, 4 sets of cloth pads per 10 years, and 1 cup per 10 years. There is no comparison in the numbers. 1,800 disposable sanitary napkins or tampons, 4 sets of cloth pads, which means about 20 to 30 cloth pads, and 1 menstrual cup in 10 years is what is the comparison. So there is hands down the menstrual cup wins. The impact on the health is huge. What's hiding in the disposable sanitary napkins? Initially, they were made of cotton and gauze, but as the time went on, the pads became thinner, and they became thinner only because there was more and more plastic in it. There is styrene, there is chlormethane, there is acetone, there is thermocol, there is all these things go to make up the pad. That's why the pad is so thin. And there are harmful agents, adhesive chemicals, unknown fragrances, pesticide residues, and dioxins and furans, which are bleaching the pad white. What does it produce? It produces rashes, endocrine disruption, reproductive harm, and cancer in the long run. The dioxins and furans, very small quantities of it go to stick in the tissue of the uterus and the cervix, and in the long run of 40 to 50 years, it can convert these cells into carcinogenic cells. Now, what are the other issues that we have? We have rashes. The disposable products produce rashes. The reusable products, the rash is very much less because the cotton, soft cotton, and the menstrual cup, there is no rash in the groin because this is an intravaginal product, hence not relevant. There is foul smell with the disposable sanitary napkins. With reusable, it's not there because it is not reacting with the cotton to produce any foul smell. And with menstrual cup, it's completely irrelevant. The blood that stays inside the cup just remains like it. It undergoes no change. Itching again is present with the disposable products. Reusable cloth pads have minimal itching, and menstrual cup produce no itching. Contact dermatitis is often there with the pads, and all of us have suffered it for 40 years. With cloth, it is rare. And with menstrual cup, there is no contact dermatitis because it is sitting within the vagina. Toxic shock syndrome was there with the tampons. It is still very rare, 1 in 100,000. With reusable cloth pads, there is no toxic shock syndrome. With menstrual cup, it is even less than 1 in 100,000. So hardly any. If you take care to remove the menstrual cup regularly, at least once in 12 hours, then the chances of having toxic shock syndrome is negligible. Urinary tract infection tends to happen with the pads more often than it happens with the cloth pads, with the disposable pads more often than the cloth pads, and with the menstrual cups, it is very rare. Dryness of the vagina is more with the tampon because the tampon absorbs the blood and the vaginal secretions. It's not relevant with the cloth pad. And with the cup, because this is inert and sitting inside the vagina, it has no problem at all. Okay. Next, economic impact is truly amazing. While cloth pads, disposable sanitary napkins cost 8 in Indian terms, I'm talking, it would be different in different countries. 8 rupees per cloth per sanitary napkin, disposable sanitary napkin. Cloth pads is 300 rupees per set, but it will last you for 36 periods. Menstrual cup is 1,000 rupees. The upfront payment needs to be made, and 1,000 rupees is for on the commercial level. When we start buying it in greater numbers, it will come down to half its price, and that makes it all the more easier, which means about $6 to $7 per cup, which will last you 10 years. So the average cost per period for disposable sanitary napkins is about 80 rupees, which is $1, while for the cloth pad, it is 1/10 of it, and for the menstrual cup per period, it is 1/10. So it's truly 90% saving. So the total cost in 10 years is 10,000 rupees. For the disposable sanitary napkins, for the cloth pads, it's only 3,000 rupees. And for the menstrual cup, it is 1,000 rupees. So 90% of the cost is saved if you will use the menstrual cup. Does this conform to the 4-way test of the Rotary? Yes, it is the truth. Is it fair for all concerned? Yes, it benefits all the menstruators in the world, hugely economical, very comfortable to wear, and saves the environment from further degradation. Will it build goodwill and better friendship? Yes, the women who receive these products will be forever grateful to the donor for the wonderful gift. And also, this is not only for the people who cannot afford it, it is for every woman, those who can afford it and those who can't afford it. And Rotary, with using the reusable sanitary napkins and the menstrual cup, will get more bang for the buck. And the buck is what every Rotarian donates to the Rotary. Will it benefit all concerned? Of course, it will benefit all concerned. With 50% of the population being women, 1.9 to 2.1 billion menstruators, they will forever be thankful. And like we have taken this message of polio across and nearly eradicated polio, we need to, through the WINS program, take this message across, because the best influencers are the children, and the children become women very soon. So if we will do it with the WINS program, the Wash in Schools program, they will be really benefited. And huge saving, I've already said, no trash being created. And if women are happier during their periods, then there is greater peace in the world. So it encompasses all the 7 verticals of Rotary. And also the making of the pads can help women locally to earn money and therefore have employment. So thus, what is the way forward? The way forward is that Rotary should stop investing in pad dispensing machines, in incinerators, because it's a waste of money. Instead, we empower women to make cloth pads in their local area so that there is no carbon footprint for it. With the WINS program, we will bring about a behavioral change in the girls and adolescents, and these children will then take it back to their mothers and grandmothers and provide them with reusable, washable cloth pads, and menstrual cup will transform the world. So this is what is the way forward. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to explain this project to everybody, and I'm happy to learn from all the other people around the world who have been working on it, and I'm happy to share whatever knowledge I have as a gynecologist with all of you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Meenakshi. Dennis can take over.
Yes, thank you. I'm impressed. We have talked about this many times, Dr. Meenakshi, but this was an amazing presentation, very complete with lots of information. Thank you for this. And there are already questions coming in our chat. I've been noting them all the time. And everybody else who has questions, please write them in the chat. Can I kindly ask you to use the chat right now only for questions, because it makes it easier not to miss any of your questions. It would be a great pity if we just miss them and we don't ask them. Thank you for this. I'll start with the first question, Dr. Meenakshi. This is, how safe are the cups if they are not maintained well? So maybe I may add the question, how are they maintained, and what would be the consequence if they are not maintained correctly? And could they cause infections, and by doing this create new problems?
Anything that is not cleaned properly will produce infection. But cleaning the cup is so simple. It requires half a cup of water. You just have to wash it. You don't have to apply any soap, and you can insert it back into the vagina without any problems. Yes, the only two problems with the cup is, one, there is a learning curve. You need to learn to insert it. And those of us women who are sexually active or married, they can do it very easily without any problems. For the cloth pads, like I said, it requires 2 mugs of water and dry it in the sun. So basically, cleanliness is something that we must inculcate in all men and women, and they must keep their clothes and have their bath regularly. The same way the cup needs to be kept clean between removals. Once it's in the vagina, you don't have to do anything to keep it clean, and you don't have to worry about the vagina. The vagina has its own system of cleaning itself.
Good. Thank you. And the water for the cups, does it need to be boiling water, or is it just running water from the tap?
Just plain water.
Good.
My explanation for it is that when we have intercourse, we don't clean our partners with soap, with spirit, with boiling water. It just happens. It's an unsterile act across the world, and everybody does it without even looking at where are they doing it. So it doesn't require any sterility. Just wash the cup so that the blood stains are removed. That is all.
All right. Thank you. The next question is, there are countries in the world that don't have much sun. So when you dry the sanitary pads on outside, in some rainy countries, they won't dry easily. So the question is if a cloth pad can be dried also in a tumbler.
It can be dried in the washing machine, in the tumbler, there's no problem. or you can put it on a hanger and hang it out and have a fan running and it will dry. There is no hassles with it. And if it's still not dry, you can use an iron, hot iron, and iron it and then use it. It'll be dry.
Good,
and no
good
infection.
alternative with the iron. Good. Another question is, if the cups are recommended also for adolescent girls, and how available are cloth pads, or are girls expected to produce them themselves? Actually, these are two questions. Let's start with the young girls, if cups are recommended for them.
Well, there are girls who have started using it at 11 and 12, but ideally their mothers use the cup. So therefore they are confident and then have heard about it. If the mothers haven't heard about it, the mothers panic like mad. They will say, no, the virginity is gone, and all those sort of things come up. But actually all that it happens is the hymen just stretches a little bit. The hymen is a big issue about a little tissue. So we need them the mothers to be comfortable with using it, and then the girls will be very comfortable. So lots of children who are athletes have taken up to using the cup, 14, 15, 16. And once they're 18, they're adults, they can make their own decision. Usually we want the mothers to use it before we ask the children about using it. And the cloth pads is very easy to make. There is no big deal. The only thing that is the innovation is this polyurethane laminate jacket, which is available, and that prevents the staining of the other clothes from happening. So they can stitch it themselves once they learn the first set.
Maybe at this stage we can add the organization Days for Girls. Actually, we have Deb Nygaard here, who is a representative of this group. It's not a Rotary group, it's an independent group, and they are producing sanitary pads and providing them to communities. And there are many collaborations between Days for Girls and Rotary. So this would be another option if we cannot organize production in the communities. This would be another option to provide young girls with these pads.
But ideally, it's something that we can teach the women to stitch when they stitch such complicated clothes. Stitching a cloth pad is not difficult.
It's not difficult. Absolutely not. Good. There are some more questions now in the chat. I will choose those that are directed to you. How do we select the correct size of the menstrual cup?
The vagina is a 3-inch long one and the cup is 2 inches long. So ideally you just need to get a single size. The vagina is usually collapsed. It's flat anterior posterior, and once it's collapsed, once I put the cup inside, it will open up and go in. So the requirement is women need to do some exercise post delivery. Women tend to forget doing exercise for themselves, for their vaginal muscles. They need to do exercise so that the cup stays inside. So it's a good thing if you're wearing the cup and the cup starts slipping down, then you will think, oh, I must do exercise because I don't want to wear a disposable sanitary napkin because it's not comfortable. So this way we are getting women to start doing exercise post-delivery because they want to put the cup inside the vagina. So basically a regular size cup is more than adequate because the vagina just expands to how much ever the cup is there.
All right, thank you. The next question is, what cup do you recommend for women who have a heavy flow?
So this cup holds about 15 to 20 ml. Every disposable sanitary napkin or a cloth pad will hold only 5 ml. So the advantage is that this holds 3 times the quantity of blood that a pad holds. So It's good for women who bleed excessively. It just means that instead of removing it once in 6, 8, 10 hours, you may need to remove it once in 4 hours. But that is something that you have to learn to use it. You have to pull it out, see how much blood there is in it, and then wash it, drop it, wash it, and put it back again. So it's absolutely the best for heavy bleeders because each cup holds 15 ml.
All right, thank you. I do have questions to PT Prabhakar. So I will move over for the moment. The first question to you is, what are the challenges in getting the Rotary Action Group approved by Rotary International, and what is the processing time? Please unmute yourself because we cannot hear you.
Unmute yourself, sir.
Yeah, I unmuted. I'm not able to hear your question properly. What is the question?
Okay, the question is, what are the challenges in getting the Rotary Action Group approved by Rotary International, and what is the processing time?
There are no challenges. The Rotary International Board and Rotary Foundation trustees, they encourage action groups because our experience at the world headquarters level shows that the action groups are very successful because they are started by people who are deeply interested in that aspect of service. There is no problem there. But of course, we have to provide for the fact that Rotary is a giant wheel, it moves slowly. So, you know, the red tapes here and there, but there is nothing with the 4 initiators. All of you are dynamic, and throw in Dr. Meenakshi, and you will have it before you know what, in a wink of an eye, you will get it. That's not a problem. Hopefully, if we have a one-to-one convention in Taiwan, you should meet there and inaugurate it. If not, at least on Zoom, as soon as it is approved. You don't have to wait for the convention. Now, on Zoom, you can get a lot of people like today together, people interested. And let me tell you, the prospects or the possibilities for your group is enormous. I can tell you, this should have been done earlier because you take the third world, take Africa, take even large parts of India. This is badly needed. And Dr. Meenakshi Bharat goes and speaks in one school. This has to be sustained. You know, we need local staff. Local teachers have to be trained. In India, you'll have to train maybe 100,000 teachers in school so that they will train in turn their students. No, this is not a one video call or one meeting that can achieve this. And let me tell you, Dr. Meenakshi should get a Nobel Prize because what she is advocating is fantastic. You see, as he rightly says, you see the pads that these multinational companies are producing and minting money with. It's all plastic. It takes 500 years or even 1,000 years to get absorbed in the atmosphere. They create so much of pollution. So now Rotary has added environment as the 7th area of focus. Your project covers that as well. And imagine the kind of benefits that you will get. You need not one Dr. Meenakshi Bharat, you need 1,000 Meenakshi Bharats today. If you start this seriously, what she can do is for every one of the countries, depending on the size of the country and the number of students, she can train new people, and in turn, she can work out a proper curriculum. And this is not difficult to learn. But then, you look at a presentation today. I have seen her first presentation. And today, between that and today, I see so much of her expertise, what she learned from feedback that she has put back into that presentation. So it's a wonderful thing. And this is, something, at least in my country, till about 5 years back, people would not talk about menstruation. It was a taboo subject. Dr. Meenakshi Bharat will agree, especially men. Men will not talk about it. Maybe because they are not bothered, number one. Number two, it's very embarrassing to talk about. And many Indian women don't like to talk about menstruation in public. The fact of the matter is we have billions of girls in India badly needing this lesson, especially the poor girls, the third world, countries. They need this to prevent cancer, and to improve the environment. And, it's such a sustainable program. And I wonder why nobody thought about it earlier. Now that your dynamic group is there, start as soon as possible. From the Rotary side, we'll give you, our program has been extended till end of this year, that is till June. Wash in Schools Target Challenge is a pilot program, which is extended till June 30th. But let me tell you, I've been discussing with Shekhar Mehta, the incoming president, and we are trying our best to make it a global program. And if that happens, your program, which is part of Wash in Schools, will become a really continuous program of Rotary Foundation. And not only in schools, you don't have to limit yourself to schools. You can go to communities. And as Dr. Meenakshi correctly said, for those women, they can form self-help groups and they can make these cups or cloth pads and market them. It gives them a living, as well as improves their hygiene. So this is one of the 1 in million kind of program, which is win-win for everybody concerned. That's my answer.
It is very, very encouraging to listen to you, and I really thank you for your words. I would like, we are over time, but there are 2 more questions, so I will ask them if you agree. This is a question also to you, P.T. Prabhakar. It's about how to address the challenge of water supply, which is critical to wind. If there are any learnings that you can share with us.
No, I didn't get the question again. Can you be a little louder?
How to address the challenge of water supply, which is critical to wind. If there were any learnings that you would like to share with us.
No, what is how to address what?
Water supplies.
Water supply.
No, you see, water and sanitation group of Rotary Foundation, Rotary International. Water and sanitation is a focus area. They are doing a lot about water and sanitation. For example, in India, we have a Rotary India Water Conservation Trust. We are building check dams. We are, the water problem is different in different countries. In a tropical country like mine, where the temperatures are hovering around 100 degrees throughout the year, water is really difficult to store. But we have got check dams, but also we get heavy rains during monsoon, and we have perfected the technique of storing them. But if you take Europe, water is not a problem. But if you take Africa, they are like our country. So you don't worry about water. If my WINS program succeeds, you will have clean drinking water in every school, and you will have enough water for menstrual hygiene management. No question. And let me also tell you here, we are working with an organization called World Vision. World Vision. They are in several countries of the world. Now, these World Vision volunteers go and sit in villages. Now, if I do a Wash in School program in a school, I pay them 30,000 rupees a year, which is roughly $400. And for which, see, I install hand wash stations. And the first week there will be water, there will be soap, and the toilet will be clean. But what about the second week? So this, and Rotarians cannot go and sit in the school cleaning toilets always. So it is this organization, World Vision organization, who have got their volunteers. They are paid volunteers. They go there, they go to the school 3 times a week. They make sure the toilets are kept clean. They employ somebody to clean the toilets. They ensure water is available. They ensure the soap for washing hands is available, etc. And they give the Rotary Club a report. The Rotary Club board gets a report with photographs every month. So you know that the facilities you gave to that school expensive ones like built toilets, hand wash stations, etc., are maintained properly. As I said, the most important aspect of our program is 2 years maintenance. And of course, we also insist on parent-teacher committee, then the students committee. Let me tell you, the student committee, I have seen it so successful. We make one of the students the prime minister. The other is called the finance minister. The one is called the health minister. You give them a title like that, they get totally into the program. They come 1 hour before the school starts. They make sure all these things are available. If not, they, pester their headmistress or whoever to make sure it is available. So this is a thing which is working very well. And I don't think water should be a problem, in my view.
Thank you. We have 2 more questions, and then I will pass on to Vidya to finish our session. But the interest is high, so I don't want to cut this down. The last 2 questions go to Dr. Meenakshi. What is the risk of a septicemia with the menstrual cup?
So there is risk with anything. If you don't brush your teeth often enough or clean enough, then you will end up with infection. So with this, if you wash it once in 8 to 12 hours, you will not have any risk of septicemia. Like I said, toxic shock syndrome, the chance of toxic shock syndrome is very significantly less than that with the tampon. But you have to remember, and because it's so comfortable, you tend to forget. So please put an alarm on your smartphone. And now everybody has a smartphone. So put an alarm to say, remove the cup, wash it, and put it back. If that is done, then you do not have any problem with septicemia at all.
Good, thank you. So last question from Adama. She would like to know, how do the rural women manage with the vagina exercise part?
Actually, it's the urban women who have a problem because we are always sedentary, we are always sitting. The rural woman is sitting on the ground. Getting up from the ground itself is a great exercise. And all they wash their vessels on the sitting on the ground. They cook sitting on the ground, and they do so much of walking, which is an exercise. It's the urban woman who has a problem because we are always sitting on the dining table, at the desk, and hardly do any exercise. So I don't think the rural woman has any problem. Actually, the rural woman has no problem in putting this inside because they have no inhibitions. All the urban women have great inhibitions. How will I insert this inside? This is what happens when you have intercourse. This is what goes inside when you wear the cup. So I don't, once the peer group tells you that this is a fantastic product that you use, you will learn. So it's peer pressure that will go in the right direction with the menstrual cup. And I think in Kenya, they have shown that school children took to the menstrual cup very comfortably once that first bold adolescent used it and said, wow, this is great for me. So peer review is very important.
Good. Thank you. I think we finish here. I think it was one of the most informative and most encouraging sessions we have celebrated since we have been founded by Shamila. Over to Vidya for the vote of thanks.
Before that, may I add, every one of you, please understand, our children are not asking us for Mercedes-Benz cars or iPhones or anything. Our girls in third world countries need basic fundamental equipment like the cup to help themselves every month, which is this periods is called a curse. Now I know why. So if you do this, if you take up this project, it will be great, and you will be helping these children who are not asking you for luxuries. They're not asking you for the moon. They're asking you for something which we have to provide without their asking. So please put your best into this. And from the Rotary side, whatever way we can help, we are always with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful of you, Rotarian PT Prabhakar. Really, what sparkling wit and wisdom really we had on display today. Uh, you spoke about how Rotary can make an impact starting with WASH. You gave us the story of the Australian hero, Clem Renouf, and polio, and you ended with Tata Memorial and Mr. Savla. And thank you for giving us that shot in our arm with your very enthusiastic endorsement of the proposed RAG for menstrual health and hygiene. And this networking group can really do much, so much. We can really achieve, even though our beginnings are as humble as the other examples that you, because we have good leaders to guide us like you. Thank you so much, Rotarian PT Prabhakar, and I also thank Nalini ma'am for partly being here with us today. Dr. Meenakshi, you're like a tireless warrior. I'm amazed at your energy and commitment. Week after week, she addresses groups for Rotary and even other general public, spreading this message of no rash, no cash, no trash. And what clarity of thoughts and such clear advocacy of not the problem but also the solution to the problem. It's really shocking, when you see how we have been abusing Mother Earth, and to a great extent, we've been abusing ourselves also by using these disposables. It was a timely wake up call for all of us when we zeroed in on this menstrual hygiene and health. For all those people in the audience, there are many doubts. I can see that. But I need to tell you that in the last few months, I've seen many people in my family who have made the shift seamlessly. I've had my maids listening to talks by Dr. Meenakshi and my daughter. So many of them have made the change. Yes, it did take them some time, but they were open and it really made a difference. And you're really great, Doc. Your substantiation and the passionate espousal of this cause is really truly inspiring. I think on a lighter note, I should thank Dr. Kanika for having dengue. And I agree with you, Rotarian PT Prabhakar, she deserves a Nobel Prize. So thank you to both of you for making this an amazing section. And today we've had a very wide cross section of participation from across the world. And really grateful to all the members who were here today, choosing to spend their Saturday evening with us. Thank you, and over to Sharmila for the closing remarks.
Thank you very much, Vidya. Thank you everyone who participated today. It was extremely interesting, and we are open for fellowship.
Thank you, PT, for immediately agreeing and joining and sharing. You have just given us that much needed boost to go forward. Thank you.
One last word, because I see in the chat there are many people interested in joining our Rotary International Women's Group. This group is the group of female Rotarians that has been founded by Sharmila. And this is the group that is organizing these sessions every second Saturday. And so the session today was organized by our group. Every female Rotarian who would like to join this group can WhatsApp to Sharmila. I just left her phone number in the chat. So please contact her and she will join you to the group. Thank you.
Thank you.
Or you can also follow us on Facebook page that we are live on.